Quapaw. Our second lesson that we're going to have today is about kinship or relationship in your family. And these are important words for you to learn because they're everyday things. They're the words that you would use for father, mother, and your family. So let's begin with father. The word for father is In-TA-TAY. 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 And the word for mother, Ina. 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 Now that is not a very hard word to remember. And so I think if you just practice saying mother and father over and over and over, it won't take you long to learn how to say father, In-TA-TAY, and mother, Ina. The word for sister, and actually it means big sister, is I-TA-TAY. I-TA-TAY. So this would be an older sister. If you have several sisters in your family, the oldest sister would be called I-TA-TAY. 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 Younger sister or little sister would be WEE-ZEE. 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 And if you have a big sister and you have a little sister, then call them by the Indian words that you have for them, the names, I-TA-TAY and WEE-ZEE. I want to go on to some of the other relationships or the kinships. I guess I better start with the older brother first. The older brother is Inoba. 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 So it has 3 syllables, I-no-ba. And that ba is there again. That's an explosive sound. Ba. I-no-ba. Now, that's the word for brother. And you would use that for your older brother, I-no-ba. Now, younger brother, I-TA-TAY. 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 And there again it has 3 syllables. I-TA-TAY. I-TA-TAY. The older brother, Inoba. Inoba. And your younger brother or your little brother, I-TA-TAY. With our tribe and with the Quapaw people, sometimes we had a different name for maybe a grandmother on the father's side and then a grandmother on the mother's side. And so oftentimes there would be 2 different words for grandmother, but you can't go wrong if you just learn at least one. And that word for grandmother is Ikon. 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 Other side of your family is Inda. 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 So learn both of those words because they both mean grandmother. Inda. 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 The next word that we're going to learn is grandfather, and the word is WEE-ZEE. 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 So there again, a 3-syllable word, we, and it's kind of a T-S-E sound, si. And then the last syllable, gon. Gon is nasal. It's a nasal sound. There again, that sound from the back of your nose and the back of your throat. So practice that over and remember the nasal sound, WEE-ZEE. The nasal sound is kind of a hard one to get, but it's very important when you're pronouncing your words. If you don't use the right sounds, you're not saying the right word. So be very careful as you're pronouncing your words and include your nasal sounds. WEE-ZEE. A very important word that you need to learn is aunt. WEE-TIMI. 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 And you can call other people in the Indian way. Sometimes we call people aunt as a term of respect. And it's important to know how to speak to people sometime. Maybe this is a person older than you are, and it may be a friend of your mother's or your family's, and you could call her aunt. Even though she's not a blood relative and she may be a distant relative, you could still call her aunt. And that word is WEE-TIMI. 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 The next word that we're going to learn in this series of kinship is uncle. And we have two words for uncle. One uncle could be the brother of your mother. The other uncle could be the brother of your father. So you have uncle on your mother's side and an uncle on your father's side. And so the mother's brother would be called WEE-ZEE. WEE-ZEE. Be very careful when you pronounce WEE-ZEE, and the second syllable is a TSE sound, tsi, tsi. So you don't say a clear T or a clear S, it's tsi. Run those two together. TS sound together. WEE-ZEE. 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 So that is the mother's brother. WEE-ZEE, uncle on your mother's side. Now the uncle on your father's side, and you're going to say, I've already had that word, but it's the same as your father, IN-TA-TAY. So your father's brother is called IN-TA-TAY. Now there's a reason for that. The father's brother would take care of his brother's family if anything happened to the father in your family. And in that case, you would call that uncle father. So he would be called IN-TA-TAY. And any time that you have to speak to your father's brother, you call him IN-TA-TAY, just like he was your father. People who are really not related to us, but we might call them by a relative, and in that case, we say I-TANEE. I-TANEE. And I-TANEE means relative, and it could be a cousin, an aunt, or an uncle, or it could be a whole group of people that you might address as I-TANEE. And if they're kin to you, if they're a relative, then you're safe in calling them I-TANEE. And if you greeted them, you might say, WA-KHO. And that just means hello, relative. Hello, kinsman. So that is a very important word also to get familiar with, because if you forget how to say uncle or aunt or grandmother or grandfather, you can always say I-TANEE. WA-KHO. Now we'll go on to some different words, and those words are important also in your relationship with people. And the first one would be a friend. A friend would be Goda. Goda. So if you have a very good friend, or any friend for that matter, you would call them Goda. And as I said before, if you're greeting someone, you'd say Hawaii. That's the greeting that says hello. Hawaii Goda. And pronounce that again with me. Goda, meaning friend. Your friend is Goda. Now the word for woman, any lady, any woman who, it doesn't have to be an acquaintance, it can just be a woman. You might be describing someone that you saw, and you would say that woman, you would call her WA-KHO. WA-KHO. And this is another sound that I'm just introducing to you, because you're going to hear this sound again over and over. And it's what I call the clearing of the throat sound. And it kind of in the back of your throat, and then you say, it's kind of an explosive sound, and you say, KHO, KHO. In this case, woman, WA-KHO, 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 meaning woman. Okay, let's go on to the next word. And this one is a very important one. Who is old number one? Me. So, to say me, we're going to say WEE-ZEE. WEE-ZEE. WEE-ZEE is me. WEE-ZEE. Or it can also mean I, or me. So, repeat after me. WEE-ZEE. WEE-ZEE. As versus you. Now, we're going to learn another word. You. G-ye. G-ye. The word for you is G-ye. So, if you say you and me, you would say G-ye, we-ye. Okay? G-ye and we-ye. The next word, an important word, is the word for man. And that word is nika. 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 So any man that you want to speak of, it could be your brother's friend, or just an acquaintance, or it could be your teacher at school. If it's a male teacher, you would call him Nika. 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 The word for boy. And if you're a boy, I'm talking about you. Shato. 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 And repeat that word over and over and over. It means boy. Shato. 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 The word for girl is shami. 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 Now those words, if you put the two together, say boy and girl, shato and shami. When I was a little girl, my grandmother used to sing a song to me. Now I call it a song. It's not really a song, but I think you would describe it as more of a chant. And it went like this, and I can remember it very well because she would sing that little chant to all the babies that she was either rocking or holding in her arms, and it always gave us a peaceful feeling. And it went like this, and I'm going to sing the song for you, and it's called a Quapaw Baby Lullaby. And since I was a girl, I'm going to say it for the girl, and in the case of a boy, if you want to substitute the word for boy in the chant, then you can do that. But learn this little song and say it, and it will help you remember the words. Shemi shige, she shige, shemi shige, she shige, shemi shige, she shige. And you see, it's very repetitive. That's all there is to it. It's just a little chant. There's not any other words to it. And what it means, and when you say shami shige, she shige, it says shami is girl, shige is little, shishige is baby. Shige sometimes can also mean bad. And so in the case of you were being a bad girl, maybe crying or being upset or something, she would just be singing this little song to you, saying, bad baby girl or upset baby girl. So shemi shige, shige. So you're learning 3 words there. Shishige is baby. So shemi is girl. Shige could be bad or it could be upset. So sing that little chant over and over to yourself. If you want to substitute shemi and say shato, then I'm sure all the little boys heard the same chant, because when grandmother or mother rocked them to sleep or put them on their shoulder and patted their back, she would say, shato shige, shi shige, shato shige, shi shige, shato shige, shi shige. One of these days, I know that I will be hearing you sing that same little song to your babies or your grandbabies. And that's good, because that's the way we hand things down, information down in our tribe, because no one could read or write, and they learned by repetition, they learned by rote, and they learned by handing these stories and these words down to their children. Now that completes our lesson on kinship and relationship.